Ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you some customer appreciation. I've been cooking up in the DogWifTools Discord. I've been having some wonderful customers, wonderful reviews for people that have taken my course, and I just want to be able to be transparent. So today is Christmas Eve. I'm going to give you guys a Christmas present, a full hour of training / customer testimonial. Let's go.
I'm out in I'm in Dubai, so it's early morning for me, Christmas Day. So I thought if we could get it in as
Yeah,
early as
absolutely.
possible.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah,
So, have you went through the course all yet? Have you got your RPC, your node, like your VPS? Like, tell me exactly where you're at.
yeah, man. So I think when I messaged you the other day. So basically, I've been like obviously I've been in crypto for a while, but it's not as a
Yeah.
full-time thing, just as a hobby interest. And then I jumped into like the whole meme coin thing like a month ago,
Okay.
but more so from like a trading point of view. So I've kind of just progressively gone further and further down the rabbit hole. So I think when I kind of started a month ago, like I see like YouTubers talking about copy trading. So, I
Uh-huh.
started copy trading and, you would, had like a couple big wins and then like loads of losses. I was like, all right, something's wrong here. So you dig a little deeper, you find out, okay, copy trading's kind of bullshit. So, um, you start trying to understand the charts better. So I got into some groups, Discord
Right.
groups and stuff to just
Okay.
do sort of manual trading myself. Had some success there, but I I don't know, man. It's just I just got the sense that I was on the wrong side of the equation, right? So in life, I believe there's two sides to every equation. So if you work for someone as an employee, even if they're willing to pay you $100,000 a year, it's because you're making them 10 million. You're on the wrong
Yeah.
side of that equation. You need to be on the side making 10 million, paying someone 100,000 basically. So yeah, with the trading, I was like, I got the sense I was on the wrong side. So I dug a little deeper to understand, what does it take to actually launch coins? Because I can see people launching coins, and like I'm looking at some of these devs. I see some devs are making like a lot of money. I see other devs are not making as much money, but I'm like, that can't be, I know a dev isn't coming into this for like $30 profit. So I start to, understand a bit more about bundling. And then, yeah, as soon
Yeah.
as I started searching bundling, your name comes up on YouTube. I watched your first YouTube video, and yeah, you're just by the way, I don't know sort of how you got into it, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, you're a natural for this thing, man, because I watched
Thank
your
you.
first video and I was engaged straight away. I mean, regardless of whatever tool you were probably talking about, but I was engaged straight away. I think you mentioned DogWifTools,
Yeah.
um, and I'm very much jump in head first type person. So you mentioned
Nice.
DogWifTools, so I went and got DogWifTools.
Yeah.
Um, I see obviously you did a couple other videos, and I saw you had the academy. So yeah, I got DogWifTools, and I think
Nice.
that's the day I mentioned I contacted you about like the course.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but your diary was pretty stacked. So I think this was like Sunday. So I think your diary was pretty stacked. So I was all right, cool. In the meantime, let me try and get DogWifTools set up and see what I can do. So that's what I did. So I've got a
Okay.
node. I'm using SPS.
You're
I've
using
got
Salon Live
SES as a
Station?
node. Yep. I've got IP Royale for the proxies.
Okay.
Um, and I'm using I got a VPS with a company called Cloudsy because I think the DogWifTools guys told me to go to Node Station,
Uh-huh.
but Node Station was taking like just mad long to get back to me. So I was like, all right, cool.
Really?
I'm gonna just find I'm gonna find my initially, right? And I was a bit impatient, right? I was like, I want to get into this thing, ASAP. So I went and found another one. So Cloudsy, they've got like a VPS, looks based out in Miami, 12 gig, Windows 2022 server. So yeah, I basically installed DogWifTools and I'm up and running there. Um,
Awesome.
so yeah, and then yesterday, I think it was yesterday I paid for the course. So I thought, all right,
And
cool. I'm
and
gonna
you already
watch.
took everything. And by the way, how was it? Did you went through all the 3 hours already? Yeah.
Dude, like that course. I was my big thing is you pay for anything, and you know how it is. You pay for anything,
Sure.
you're like, I want to get some sort of ROI from this, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I've obviously watched the Dog with Tools videos and tutorials, but I watched I went through it. I think I've been through it maybe twice now. Um,
Really.
yeah, it was really good. The fact
Thank
that you were
you.
doing it with someone else and that
Yeah.
other person kind of represents me in that because he's asking questions I would ask.
Right.
Um, it was really informative just from watching that, like going through that course. I learned, much more than I watched from looking at the tools tutorial,
Awesome.
like the defensive, offensive. So that just to get you updated. So since then,
Yeah.
since like watching the course yesterday, I've started trying to season wallets.
Nice.
I've run like the defensive safe mode play, made some, like it's not really about making money, it's just about looking profitable. So I'm trying to get my profit wallets looking profitable. They're only a couple days old. Although I realized today because I've been like trading and stuff for the last 4 weeks, I've actually got a bunch of other wallets that I've been using for just normal trading. And I was like, well, actually, maybe I can bring those in to the bundler, season those a bit,
Nice.
because they've got a bit more age to it, and then maybe I can get off the ground up and running a bit quicker. Um, so I've done that in safe mode. I did try your sort of pumping volume on like an old dead contract today.
Uh-huh.
And that kind of worked. I didn't do any like serious size. I was working with small amounts, but that worked for the purpose of I just wanted to see if I could get in and out and create the task. So I created the task for cleaning, created, which is the buy, the gen volume buy, did the sell all task, and both tasks worked. So yeah, like, and all of this just from watching your academy video, and then also from
That's
watching your academy
amazing.
video. When you went into the matrix, and the shit that blew my mind was when you explained, because I'm in call groups, right? But like
Right.
basic call groups, like you said on the call, where these guys are sending calls, and again,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure these guys are just farming. Like if they send 10
Right.
calls, I'm pretty sure 8 calls are like farming calls, and like maybe two are like, legit,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
fine. The game's the game, right? Like I say, it's
Mhm.
PvP.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but when you broke down that there's like these calls which are free, and then there's another level where they break it down based on volume, then it's volume by age, and then
Yep.
it's uh, volume by age by fresh wallets. And so when you broke that down, I was like, okay, I'm understanding now.
Yeah. They
And then
monetize
you
in
also
time.
made it, yeah, 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 and then you made it clear that obviously a fear for, I guess, anyone coming into this, myself included, is cool. I've got like some capital to put forward to this, but you're like, capital is capital. This is crypto. Like, can I put, can I do a 10 soul buy? And like, yeah, I don't want to get fucking sniped and lose half, lose half my capital. So, but you kind of, the way you explain things made me realize, okay, there's a way to do this where there's a minimal risk of losing your initial if you have the right speeds and the right connections and whatnot. So yeah, the first time I ran DogWifTools, though, I will say I lost I lost 5 soul, but that was probably more on my connection and me than anything else. But after watching your videos, I realized also what I did wrong there. So
Oh man, I appreciate it.
yeah,
Yeah, and
man.
I just want to be able to educate and give people the amount of knowledge because I want to continue giving free education now that you're in the inside the one-on-one portals. I mean, and sorry inside the Discord. It's like now we have grad school and it's gonna be this course, that course, but it's all free to the grads.
That's amazing. All I can say is, yeah, I don't know how you got into this, but this and whatever else you do, it seems like it's your calling, man. Because yeah, you got a real talent for it. Like I say, I watched 3 hours of the course. I wanted to watch different parts again, and I did go back and watch different parts again. So yeah, you're doing something right, man.
Thank you. For me, it's interesting because I'm having a interesting thing in the behind the scenes because a lot of it is what's it called propaganda and like what people behind the scenes, they see things and they say, "Oh, you're talking too much," or "We need to do this for liquidity." I'm getting members that are saying they're cabal and they're mad now, and it's like, hey, listen, I just came in educating. No one was educating. Like, if you did a YouTube search on just simple as what's a benchmark test or how to create a benchmark test, the things that we're seeing in these discords that like show you, what you're essentially paying for, and then all of a sudden when I start testing people and showing them, okay, you got to go to GitHub, do this, do that, and then they finally start testing their own nodes, and then they're like, wait a minute, they told me that it would be this speed, and it's been firing off that speed. What's going on here, And so people are like, and I almost look like this. I almost look like if you're going into a shop respectfully, if you're like a woman and you're going to a shop to get your car fixed, and the guy kind of can get over you and say, you know what, the steering wheel is going to cost about $5,000, and she's like, oh, okay, honey, it's going to cost $5,000 for the steering wheel, and you're like, what the fuck? It's a steering wheel. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what's happening. They're coming back with information, and knowledge is power.
Yeah. To that point, I was struggling with, my like installation and setup. I didn't even know what a VPN. I've never used a VPS before. I've used a VPN, but I've never used a VPS, right? So I didn't really understand how it was all connected. And to your point, when I couldn't get hold of Node Station, I was looking for like a VPS provider. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm even looking for.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any videos on it. I think that's probably one of the times I messaged you was like, oh
Yes,
man, I
sir.
need help with my setup because I'm pretty sure. And then I did a run, and then like even now, I've had like some success even with like the defensive plays, but I mean, we can check it together. I couldn't quite get the memo bench or whatever it is working, but I'd like to check my speeds because I'm pretty sure I'm not getting the best speeds. And obviously, I don't want to pay premium straight away, but I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a level I could pay initially to get something a little bit more effective for what I want to do initially.
Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you this because I really appreciate these comments, man. I really would love to use them. I'll do this. I own like essentially 3 different nodes, and this is not for everybody, but just for people that like yourself, that are really base, took the one-on-one class, loves the academy. I'll go ahead and I'll give you usage to some of my validator nodes that I own. And if you just hit me in the DMs, just let me know
Okay.
whenever your project is. I'll whitelist your IP and give you that validator to use for the day. And again, this is not for everybody. This is just for only
So
certain people that
appreciate
come
it,
in
man.
and are just like, hey, because honestly, I see the longevity in this thing. It's not just about you making money, but it's about us being able to make money together. So that way, we are essentially creating like that new cabal that everyone. Because honestly, this is the real story behind the scenes. Solana as a total, we need to like be better, as a team,
Yeah,
as a collective effort, And the problem
agreed.
is a lot of kids are getting in this space, unfortunately, and they're fucking it up for a lot of adults because of what's going on and the transaction fees being so low. And
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
kind of have to get an educator, a person that's a little bit experienced. I'm not trying to be like a grandpa around here, but I just kind of have to kind of set some streams because to be honest with you, you would have no idea of how many people I speak to that spend like thousands upon thousands of dollars, but yet they have no idea what a fungible token is. I just simply tell them,
Yeah,
reach in your pocket and that's a fungible token. That's that dollar or
yep,
whatever that Pump.fun token you're trading, that's a fungible token. And if you don't know that that basics of everything, that essentially makes a room for, at the end of the day, exit liquidity for everybody because you're undereducated coming in this space. You see what I'm saying?
this is the thing. Like I'm part of I mean, you probably know, the kid Orangey, he made like millions from like meme coins. So obviously he created a Discord called Potion. So he's a young kid himself, right? And
Yeah.
I guess him and his friends, they create this group called Potion. It's more about trading, right? And so I
Okay.
joined this thing, and I get in the voice chats in there, and man, it's literally a playground, and it's all a bunch of noobs. If there'll be like 150 people in that call, but then as I stayed in it a bit longer, every now and again there'll be like one or two people who maybe they come from a trading background or whatever, and they would actually drop some knowledge, right? On this
Right.
is how you're supposed to trade. This is how you trade smart. They're not giving us like the inside, but I was on there one day, and a guy comes on and he found a couple plays, but
Yeah.
it's like really obscure things. So again, I'm like, everyone's like, how the fuck you finding this? Or like you're in there for 4 hours and he'll come up with like four plays and every
Right.
play will like run 10x, 20x. And you're like, how are you doing this? And he kind of said, look, I'm living out in the Caribbean and
Yeah.
I used to do this, I used to do that. Now I'm not doing that anymore. So I was like, okay, so he's obviously in some sort of cabal. He has access to that. He's got insider information, basically, like exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But he's got that information, but he's also trying to use it the right way. So he's in the call telling people, don't just go in big and like fucking wreck the chart by selling for like 2x when from his point of view, he knows there's a 10x opportunity here from whatever insider
Oh yeah.
information.
Oh yeah.
But if all these kids that are in the chat come in and
Mhm.
they just wreck the chart for 2x,
Exactly.
then it won't go anywhere. And
Exactly.
it happened. And I'm in that chat, like I was
You're
in
like,
that
I'm in
chat
that
for a
chat.
few days, and like I'm there, and it's just chaos, and it's
Yeah.
like you say,
Yeah.
it's people going, oh, I'm gonna top blast this, and I'm
Yep.
gonna scalp this, I'm gonna do this. Like, dude, like just chill, man. And
Mm-hmm.
you're there on the other side trying to do things sensibly. So that,
Yep.
again, this goes back to wanting to be on the other side of the equation. But then there's a benefit to that. From watching your video,
Yes, sir.
your academy the other day, I was like, so I watched your academy video, and I was like, you was explaining, obviously it's like a chess piece, right? And you got to understand how to move the pieces and stuff like this. And I was like, fuck, like I'm in this call daily, and it's like
Yeah.
150 people here, right? And I'm
Wow.
I know for a fact other people are doing this. They've not obviously they can't confirm it, but I know people are doing this
Right.
because people are just throwing calls in, right? It's free for anyone to throw a CA in.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like, actually, you've got 150 people. I understand the sentiment. I understand what they're doing to spot bundles. I understand to the point where there's people in the chat who are just comfortable with bundles. People would be like, oh, this is bundled. And someone else would be like, ah, it's only 20% bundled. And people would
Right.
just go in. I understand that people being there be like, oh shit, this is a good meme. It's
Right.
going to run to 300K. So
Right.
then people in the chat will stay in until 300K, right? And if you're the person
Oh yeah.
who's deployed this, all right, cool. I just got to keep this chart. I've got to paint this chart a certain
Yep.
way
Yep.
so it just looks good. And then at 200K, I can start to take my exit, and then
Yeah.
I'm getting ahead of the game.
It's
But
so funny you
yesterday,
said that because
yeah, go
that
on.
happened to me actually verbatim. I remember being in cahoots with this one particular person who has a very, very voice that you could just remember. Those people that in your life that you could just
Yeah,
hear the
yeah, yeah,
voice.
yeah,
And so I'm going into a TG, right? And all of a sudden I hear his voice and I'm like, wait a minute. This can't be Tim, right? And then I'm like thinking, like, this there's only one person in this voice. It's like a digital imprint of your fingerprint, and
yeah, yeah.
I go in there. I'm like, yo, text the DM. I'm saying, hey, are you Tim? He says, yeah, man, we just ran this to 300,000. I'm on the way out. And meanwhile, he's telling his telegram, yeah, guys, we got some guys coming in now. We're about to send this up to about 2 million. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I just dropped a 10 bag in this
Fuck.
motherfucker. So I completely get it. And that, honestly, to be honest with you, it's like the space is small, but that to me right then and there told me, you better get your ass out and start teaching, or else you're just as worst as the 17-year-olds making things bad. You know what I'm saying? For
Yeah,
everyone else, I have to stand on
yeah,
something, and Solana has been good to me, so I can't just continue to sit there and look at it and be fucking rugged. We were at $270 Solana in about a week or 2 weeks ago, and
yeah,
now it's
yeah,
196. It's like, come on, if we were all responsible now, this would be like 500-700 already. Period.
yeah. And I think that's a big part of that is that I think obviously I've only been in the meme coin space for 4 weeks, but even over the 4 or 5 weeks I've been in the meme coin space on Solana, I can see that the like when I joined, it was already, there was that stat that came out, something like, 15,000
Right.
meme coins created daily, and like 1% or something, or 10% or whatever it was legit projects. And I know that that number's deteriorated even further, and that's probably part of why the price is so low. But from my point of view, I've always been bullish on Solana from years ago. So I'm also looking at this as like I want to like create tokens and meme coins now. I want to do projects now so that I can accumulate Solana. So when that price pumps back up eventually, hopefully it does. Like I say, if we can grow the community,
Yeah,
then we're all sitting on Solana that we've accumulated from our projects, and then our if you've got 100 sold today, that's worth 500 tomorrow if the price goes to 1,000. So I'm with you, man. I think the community we need good
absolutely.
projects or like good, and I think the other thing, sorry, that I got from your academy and what you was explaining was
Oh, go
that
ahead.
it made me realize I was like, fuck, every project is bundled. Even the legit projects are bundled
Yeah.
because bundling is the only way you can control your supply. And if you can't
Yeah.
control your supply, then these whales and these snipers can just like tank your
Hello.
project.
Talk to me.
It was yeah, that was like The Matrix is like my favorite movie of all time. So like that was the moment where you open your eyes and you're like,
Yeah,
fuck, man, like yeah, I
absolutely.
didn't realize.
And another
So
thing
yeah,
too, just
no,
to kind of give you some little tidbits, because I've been dropping gems actually in the Discord recently, and what I recently just dropped was just I literally just forwarded it, so it was more about not just me like getting the information, but again sharing it just for everyone to have. But a lot of times what they're doing is going into bullets specifically, right? And they're allowing these wallets. So first of all, you see the P&L on bullets. So essentially, you having a wallet that's coming from that generation of brand, and I'm not sure if you are aware, but do you see my screen by the way?
yes, I can see you've got
Okay,
a
perfect.
DWT open. Yeah, yeah.
Let me show you something. So yeah, when it comes to, let's go to let's see here. Go to one second. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and show you on this side on my I don't know why it's not closed on there. Okay, here we go. So well, I'm gonna go to what's it called here? Um, in this free tool. Oh no, it's not free tools. Grad school. Okay, so a couple things I want to show you. So two things. One, I want to show you is the Nova product here. So that Nova. So one is the Nova, which is here in wallets and trading wallets, and these are created so that
So
people can have essentially like an ability to know, where they can essentially rate these wallets, because you see generate volume, on, you see the generate volume on the DogWifTools, uh, bot, but sorry, you see the sorry, not generate volume. You see the create what's it called? Going mind blank. Wallet, generate wallet, and it's like
mm,
things that people essentially just do. And the thing is not the case. You want to essentially kind of go into these ecosystems, and the reason why is they have these things called interact with program. I'm not sure you're aware of this because I didn't really share this
I
to.
didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get deeper with you today.
Okay, because I've got all these wallets, by the way. I've got like Nova, Trojan, GMGN,
Beautiful.
Bullx, Neo. Like
Absolutely.
I've got all of them. I've got all of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we want to
no.
essentially kind of give you like a literally for verbatim of what's happening. All I did essentially was take a screenshot of what this Nova wallet is on SoulScan, so you can look at any of your Nova wallets to do your own research and see that all of them have an interact with program attached to it. And
Right.
so from an outside perspective, they're coming from specifically this particular community, and so DogWifTools in a sense acts as if like you're in the middle of a symphony, and the drums are the Nova, and the guitar, let's say, is Bullocks, and then you got the flutes that are like no something else Trojan, right? And
Yeah.
essentially here, one thing that you can do is a couple things beyond actually using these as a way to create the wallets into that ecosystem. Another thing you can do is, are you familiar with what Bullocks? Have you ever used Bullocks before? By the way,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, from a trading point of view, I use
from
that's my main thing. So yeah.
okay, cool. So I just posted this in the Discord recently, right? And it just shows basically a person just vouching, saying that what they did was they used Bullocks. However, they used it in conjunction with DogWifTools to basically bundle in, but however, to be able to keep and monitor and track of not only their P&L as using this third-party software to essentially like basically hedge you see your monitors. So basically, you're not eating it blind, because as you know, in the DogWifTools, there's not a way currently for you to see the P&L
That was going to be
specifically,
a
right?
question I had for you. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Right now, there's currently not a way. It does not show you that at the moment. So, to using a tool such as this will allow you to see that. But also, this is the even more of a trick. Are you familiar on how to use a limiter, for example?
Nope.
Okay, this is going to be really, really interesting, and you're really going to dive deep in this one. This is crazy. Okay, so check this
Are we
out.
recording this, by the way?
Absolutely, positively.
Ah, fantastic.
Oh
Fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So what I want to do is I just want to give you an example of how this works, okay? And this is going to be interesting because if you thought you learned something beforehand, then you're gonna. This is a whole nother ball game right here. So if indeed, let's say hypothetically speaking, you just started a contract right now, like boom, and now you're like, okay, let's start. A lot of times, what you can do, and if DogWifTools had this, oh my gosh, it'd be amazing. But there's certain things I think and certain rules behind the scenes that certain devs don't want to cross because they know they're coming into the territory of other type of ecosystems. And so they just try not to have so much of those functionalities accessible because they know that they're all kind of working in behind the scenes in different groups together. You'd be making wonders if you go into Discord just to do your own research, honestly, and you go to like a mod or someone that you respect in a specific group, and you look and see their you click on the Discord and you look to see their associated friends. You'll see that, oh my god, they're networking all these groups I'm in. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So people are all, so it's like, okay, you kind of know who the cabal is. They're all doing business with each other because once you start going to different groups of the groups, you'll see it. It just keeps adding on. This member's a member of that group, a member of that group, a member of this group. So, but this is where it gets powerful, right? Well, essentially, when you start a contract, let's say hypothetically speaking, this is your contract. What you technically do is this thing called limiting. Now, the limiting allows you to simply to put multiple positions in your contract or any contract with Soast, whatever, and have it a position where it automatically would take profit once the market cap meets that position, even in a situation.
TP and the SL, right?
Yeah, exactly. But also it works in a whale situation where let's say if a sniper comes in and tries to take over the floor like 30-40% on maybe take it to radium or something like that, where you can actually booby trap that sniper so that you set that limiter right after Ray, and so by the time it hits, it automatically takes off profit, and then they're fucked. They don't expect these things to happen because they're thinking that you're fumbling with DogWifTools manually trying to sell out. When in reality, you have already a limiter set up with all these walls on Ray, which is a chess move at that. So let me show you how that would work. You simply would click on limit, you click on sell, and then basically from that point on, you would put in what particular market cap that you wanted to limit at. So the limit, for example, let's say you want to say, 80,000 market cap. Let's say 8123. And so what happens is it will literally take the market cap, as right now usually 6.9, and it'll take it all the way up to, right now I have it up to 68,000. So you see it's right there, boom. And so now I can actually place this here, and then once the market cap reaches there, it'll sell. And I can only tell it with the sell if I can tell the percentage of sell. Like I want to do 25%. Or 50 or 75. And so beyond this, even more powerful step that I need to go even deeper into it, which DogWifTools does not have right now, but it's something that you can use with these trading tools, which is like essentially you got to use both of them together, is basically going into this little robotic tool on the far right side here, right? And from that point on, you can actually set up the slippage to be like 50, 60, 75%. And this is like hardball money here because what you're doing is you're knowing that someone is literally trying to fuck up the system by sending it to Ray, and you literally are catching them no matter what. I've done this to Sahil, the best person in the game there before, and was able to go from literally $200 to 40,000 within 5 minutes. And that's only because I knew he was going to do some stupid shit like that. And I put my limiter at 890,000. I slip it at 75. So when he tried to fucking take $1 million out of just Jason Derulo, boom, I have the proof in the pudding. I could show you. But that's literally the game that's happening. Essentially, is like these walls have limiters, and then also, just to be completely frank with you, in the bigger scale of things, right? I did dive deeper into some of the node world, so some of that, how the ownerships are owned by specifically those RPCs. But I also want to kind of quickly dive into one small other thing as well. So when it comes to urban, like for example, this is like urban node, right? This is like one of the best nodes that they have out. I'm not trying to shill them out, but like really at the end of the day, they do a remarkable job, and they're like 128, 168 for the floor or whatever, right? But if you go back into, for example, DogWifTools, let me go back into the VPS 1 second here. But just wanted to just the reason why I wanted to bring that up is 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back. All right, bet. Okay. Oh my. So what I was saying is that one of the reasons why I was mentioning that is a lot of times some of these bots beyond DogWifTools, what they have the ability to do is with DogWifTools you have the ability to have 40 different wallets. Or sorry, 20 different, more than 20 wallets, but you can bundle with 20. But you with tasks, you could have as many as you want, and you can start doing generate volume and human buys. You can literally move the market. But the thing about it is, when it comes to the actual bundler itself, the settings is giving you the ability to have one RPC using for all your functionalities here. So the difference that a lot of people don't even realize is that on the other side of the spectrum, which is where the bots sniper bots guys are at, they use RPCs as well, but they're using it RPC per wallet. So you might have one dev, right, that has 30 wallets and trying to bundle in with one RPC node, even if it has a validator or not, it's still working with 20, 30, 40, 50 different TXTs, right? Yeah. And then meanwhile, you got another world where you have this bot and he literally will be doing the same thing, but except each different texting is on its own RPC node, on its own private node. So it literally doesn't have to handle 30 to 40 different textings. So that's why it's so volatile when it comes specifically not only Solana, but also these sniper bots, because literally they only have to work in bundles. They can work in one of 0.15 and get in and exit out at like $10,000. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I want to know, I want to understand is, we'll go back to bullets in a second. So you just mentioned they connect, because I'm again RPC nodes, proxies, the VPS. It's all new to me, right? So but I understand the idea of the node, right? And it's your own direct connect to the blockchain. But how are they? Let's say I was just a trader, right? And I'm not even doing, bundling or anything. I'm just a trader and I want to get faster at trading.
Yeah.
How are people connecting their wallet, a Bullex wallet or whatever, to a specific node?
So the way that works is they literally have to program that, right? So first of all, you would first generate the actual wallet from the actual ecosystem of Bullet, right? That'll give you the PK, so that PK will allow you to access it pretty much anywhere you need it to. From that point on, you have to essentially have basically a person create a bot to have the PK work in tandem with a RPC node, so that way it essentially is integrated that way. Right now, DogWifTools has one RPC company that will be responsible basically for all your wallets, but in the future, of course, if they wanted to, it depends on what do they want to do with it, because most people, and this is the reality of it, most people do not have the liquidity to come in with like 9-10 RPC nodes, because rental alone is like 5 SOL a month, right? And so if you think about it, and I'm gonna be completely honest here, this is just being honest as possible. What we have is a whole bunch of people that just got lucky sniping, but they think they got really bundler money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, I hear you.
Because one of the biggest things I say in the academy is I don't start a project unless I have the liquidity to get the king of the hill. If I don't have the liquidity to get the king of the hill, what the fuck am I doing bundling?
I'm so happy you said that, because I was using your simulation tool earlier, and I was like, wait a minute, it looks like I need like, I don't know, like 70, 80 SOL to get to King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Like, what, I ain't ready to put that in, but I want to get there. And yes, I'm glad you said that, because I thought that was the case from watching your academy. It sounded like one thing I took from there is the 100 SOL volume, right? So you've either got to start big and go in with like 10, 20 SOL and like dev buy, dev sell, cool, you got your 20. But then beyond the 20, you need to generate volume of 100 SOL. Is that, from your point of view, are you saying regardless of what I get in terms of fresh holders, I'm going to generate that additional 80 through my volume buys and my bundling? Or are you saying, okay, I need 80, I'm now going to bundle another 30 sold and then hope I get the 50? Like, how are you working that?
Well, ideally, essentially, what it is that even though I have the liquidity to get to King of the Hill, I mean, essentially, I need to provide more data to the contract because once I get to King of the Hill, it's just as relevant as basically giving a big bump it, like a huge bump in the world,
Yeah.
and so basically, if you can go from A to Z, right, which is King of the Hill, and the Z being that the contract from a perspective of a analytic data sheet, and it shows, let's say hypothetically speaking, 150 holders compared to 25. Then we'll get more FOMO into that contract, and those more FOMO will bring in more buys because buys have follow bots and follow bots have follow upon follow upon follow bots, which becomes like almost a data of with a dominoes, which is falling dominoes left and right. Do you think about it? And so the more essentially stack of data information that comes to the plate once you get to King of the Hill means the more FOMO there. Therefore, now the
Okay.
thing about it is we can't control sometimes as far as like you said, it's so volatile in that market cap. So it's easy for one person just to come in and grab like 80, 60, 40% of the supply. Even if you bundle 30, 60%, you could bundle 50%. Someone come and steal 30%, boom, and take you right to Ray, you know?
Okay.
And
Okay.
then at that point, it's like the game plan has to change a little bit at that point. And sometimes people don't have the necessary things such as I was telling you, limiters, because if you set yourself with limiters before you start, you're no longer thinking emotions whatsoever. Once they pass that level, it's lava, you know? Because
Okay. Okay. So that's okay. So, man, you're in my head because you're speaking on things before I ask about them, but it's things I had to ask about. So okay. So a couple things. I I've watched your videos and I understand the initial part of the game plan, right?
yes.
I understand from safe mode, I get it. Because we're all going on, me, the dev, and my bundle wallets, we're all going in at block zero. We're pretty much doing an instant sell all. So my money, and I've seen it firsthand, my money's protected. However, I'm now going into experiment because now I'm doing my project and I'm going to go into experiment mode. I'm going to I'm going to do my initial buy, do my initial sell of the dev wallet in the hope that, you shake out the snipers. Then there's going to be a delay. Then I'm going to manually, on demand, start my bundles, and I'm going to try and paint the chart. Three buys, one sell. What I
Yeah.
don't understand from the mathematical side of the chart and everything is I'm now painting the chart, and I'm going in, say, with zero point 0.5 buys, right? Just for simplicity. And how do I know, or how do I protect from someone coming in? Is it possible for someone to come in and steal that liquidity from as I'm trying to paint the chart? Because I'm thinking, all right,
Yeah.
I'm now going to try and paint the chart over 30
Yeah.
minutes, 40 minutes. How do
Right.
I
Yeah.
protect myself from someone coming
That's
in and
exactly
stealing
that's
all of
exactly
that?
happened in a video that was dropped recently where this the basically was at 9-10,000 mark cap, and then literally within a matter of like literally seconds it shot up to like 90,000, and so that essentially means that someone came in and grabbed the supply. These things can be
Ah,
robotic attacks regardless of the robotic or not, though. The main thing about it is that if you, for example, like let's say even had one or two soul in the bottom, right? You're so busy about going directly into your DAW with tools first and foremost and saying, oh shit, I'm in Ray now, or not even realizing you're Ray. By the time you get to either bundle, dump all, it's giving you problematic errors because it's telling you
oh my God, tell me about it,
issues,
man.
right? And so a lot of times
Yeah.
people start to blame that on the software and realization that they need to have that game plan already. And when people say on these chats, and it's like usually the cabal that say this, when they say, oh, it's a skill issue, right? What they're really saying in layman's terms is, dummy, why didn't you have a limiter on? You could have had a limiter on with 60% slippage and came out with like 30x on your 2 Sol from my Cabal sniper guys that came in and took over your project, but you had no idea what you're doing. Thank you for the exit liquidity and the entry liquidity, by the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
That makes sense, and that's the thing I wanted to get to, is that you just mentioned it, like doing this without emotion, because I think that one that I did the other day where I lost 5 Sol,
Yeah.
I had the error in the tool, but I know that's what I was saying to you before. I know within myself, I launched the project and I panicked. I was like sitting there watching the chart. First of all, I was in VPS. I was struggling to copy the contract address out to Pump.fun. And then I was in Pump.fun, but the Pump.fun chart is useless in my opinion. It doesn't show you much because it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Bullets has the 30-second interval. It shows you a bit more. So I was just watching it for a minute and I could see things happening, but I didn't understand what I was looking at happening, if that makes sense. So I
Right,
couldn't
right.
even say to you, like, Warren, oh yeah, I launched and then I saw a sniper take a bit. I couldn't see what's going on then. So I think after a
Happened so
minute I said,
fast.
fuck it. Yeah, dump all. And by the time I dump all, I've lost 5 Sol. But again, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know what I was looking at. But I know within myself there's probably a way in which I should, and this is what I'm trying to get to. There's a way in which I can launch like that. Whatever happens, like you just said, there's a game plan, right? Because there's a
Absolutely.
certain amount. If I've got 10 wallets
Checkmate.
and each wallet has 5 Sol, but we know that two wallets, was part of the first candle, so they're at block 0. So I've got 1 Sol. So out of my 5 Sol, 1 Sol was at pretty much block 0.
Yeah.
I know there should be a game plan around block 0, is what you're saying, basically.
I would have a game plan
Around
as
that
soon as I
one
pull
Sol.
that trigger
Yeah.
to deploy. Because the thing about it is, they're gonna the pump. The great thing about this tool, and that's why I love it, is the fact that before the actual CA is actually dropped, you can it'll literally spit out what the CA is going to be before it drops, like 15 to 30 seconds before you it's gonna be like, and then so you could copy that. You could run into bullets real quick and put your limiters presets on, because those limiters can be presetted. By the way, you have 3 presets that you can create on bullets. I'm not sure you're aware of that, but
Yeah, the auto sell button, right?
yeah, you're literally
Like
creating
you said, the
presets. So as soon as this thing
strategies,
launches,
strategies. That's it. Yeah.
it's like hot lava. Everything going up is hot lava. You don't gotta think about it. And that's why
And and that wallet in Bullet, that wallet for Bullets is one of your bundle wallets, for
bada bing,
example.
bada boom.
So as soon as you launch the token, actually you don't even technically need to go into Bullets, because I know from doing this firsthand, Bullets automatically puts those, the red lines for the take profit and stop loss on there.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, I
Whoa,
told you. I told you
whoa.
we getting deeper,
Okay,
man. We getting
okay,
deeper.
okay. I see. Right.
And that's why when they say it's a skill issue, it's because these 17-year-olds, at the end of the day, all they're doing is just trying to outthink these guys financially in a
Okay.
market that cannot be regulated.
Yeah.
Even if you
All
wanted to
right.
be regulated, it really cannot be.
It can't be. It's the Wild West, man.
The Wild West and the Wild East together.
Yeah. Honestly, man. But again, I think there's opportunity in there, in it, and that's what like I say,
Yes.
we can take advantage of that if we play the game right. So, okay, so I'm launching my experimental project.
Okay.
I do my initial dev buy, my initial dev sell, and then I'm going to try and paint the chart.
Mhm.
And like you say, because again, we've done the dev sell, we seen or we have a feeling that the sniper's out. We go in with our first buy, we launch the bundle, it's going now. Am I in Bullets? Have I linked all of my bundle wallets to Bullets, or have I looked at my list of bundle wallets and I've said, all right, cool, bet the first 5 of my 20 wallets, for example, I'm linking to like Bullets, Trojan, whatever, and
Mhm.
I'm putting that
Well,
automatic take profit stop.
what I would do is this, and I'm gonna be completely frank with you. I know in some protocols, I'm not gonna show them out, but some protocols have the ability where you can actually have this already inside them. But in order for us to do this correctly, we have to kind of set some parameters with our own like system. So you know, at the end of the day, 20 wallets are able to essentially either buy, sell with GTO transactions. However, these things need to be essentially grouped, and not only grouped, but we can need to use them very fast. So the ideal thing to do is to essentially have a folder on your desktop, and maybe call it like just like bundle subgroups or whatever it may be. Essentially, you could have 3 folders there. They're going to be 20 wallets each in them. And ideally what it be is you need to be able to come into your cells if you get a situation where like, cause this, by the way, this only will work in a way when you're dealing with, a bearish market, and right now you're kind of in a up because the market's not crazy bear. But if you're dealing in a bearish market and basically get to a situation where your coin is at like 70,000 and Ray is like maybe like 10,000 away, and you're thinking to yourself, I'd rather just sell these positions now and not have to worry about too much the hoopla going on in Radium essentially. Well, if you this is what you could do. You could go into your DogWifTools, and you can go into your wallets, and from that point on, you can simply import those 20 sets. So import, boom, 20 set into your bundler, not your volume, but into your bundler. And then what allows you to do, since it's in the bundler, go back to bundle here, and you can just either dump all and then come back in here and import back the other 20 again, and then dump all. That way you simply have groups of three cell groups you're doing basically, and it's going to GTO 60 wallets out. But I've seen essentially in other type of ecosystems where they have this already like implemented, where it's like, all right, add group 1, group 2, group 3. But you got to start somewhere, and this is how I do it with DogWifTools basically.
So okay, cool. So you've gone in with your initial 20 wallets, whatever, but then you've gone into tasks. Obviously, you're doing effectively you're bundling with the volume task, human mode. And then, like you say, it's going up, and you see it get to just before Radium, and at that point, you go back to wallets. You dump the 20 bundles. Then you go back into wallet. You dump the next 20 from the volume task. You go back into wallets. You bump the next 20. You do it from the bundler wallet in wallets, but it's actually the wallets that are sitting in the volume task that we're dumping. Okay, cool. I've got you.
Yeah.
Now,
and if you wanted to, you could. I'm about to say real quick, you could, what you wanted to, you could do the same thing. However, when you do your dump all, you could do a percentage and do 50. So that way that you can moon back all the way up to Radium. And that way you got your initials back. And now whatever happens, even if there's a CTO, they decide to do whatever, you got a part of that.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point actually, because I did think that I like when I created a couple coins, and obviously nothing happened with them, so I dumped them. But I did think to myself, shit, like what if someone comes in and just like pumps this to the moon? Like I'll be fuming. So you want to leave like, and especially if you've got money out, you want to leave 10% in.
Yeah.
Or something, just in case it moves.
Just a little moon bag, and like, that can change a person's life after 50, 10, 50, 20, 25 million. You know what I'm saying? You want to be that guy like, damn.
And again, if you're making, if you've made like whatever 30-40% from your initials in there, there's no reason you shouldn't leave that, really. Okay,
that's where it comes chess.
So here's the thing now. So you've explained a lot of things. I've listened to you on this call. I've watched the academy. And again, you're very skillful, right? But my thing is, how much time do I actually have from launch? Because there's a lot of things going on here, and we're a bit limited. It would be beautiful if we could have a contract address before. I know you said we get it kind of 30 seconds before, but if we could have it a bit more time before, you could set things up,
you could do that still.
Stuff.
You can do that still. No, check this out. So the way that's done, and this happens all the time. This is another piece of the game that I'm not sure that I've expressed in the academy or not, because I know it's talked about it before, but I'll go into it again. Essentially what happens is a lot of contracts, even the ones that you're going to see in the next couple of days that are going to be $1 million, are currently on Pump.fun as we speak on purpose right now. The way they do this simply just deploy with like 5 different wallets that are saying the same, sorry, not 5 wallets, deployed from the same wallet, the same dev wallet 5 times on purpose as a serial rugger on purpose to make it look like the coins are not going to go at all sent. You just keep doing it, keep doing it. And then on that ninth coin, do the ninth coin again, whatever one you actually like, the one you're going to actually send to millions, and let it sit there for days. And then they really have on demand going on. Because when you hit managed launch, and then you go back to managed launch and you go back to experimental mode, and then from that point on you set your RPC up to actually on demand. This gives you the leverage to literally put your bundles in like 10-30 days later. Like you don't have to there's no time limit, so you can there's projects right now as we speak that are literally floating in the water. And this is how I found out this, but I'm going to show you the case study. The case study is this. So I essentially, and this to be completely honest, not no shill, but I have literally freaking the best bots in the world. Like I got Frigo bot, not to shill, like it's an NFT group of people that if you have this, then you know. But basically, at the end of the day, this thing right here, I can pretty much like track you, and like I could pretty much snipe any type of wallet bundle in the world right with this thing. But with that being said, I only bring that up just because when it comes to specifically like bundles and DogWifTools in general, if you go into like the projects that are coming out and that are just simply floating out there, right, and that are the bundles not coming in, I was doing copy trading with my other bot here, and I found out the hard way that when I came into these copy trades, they would sit there on the floor dead, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, why? I'm copying a 75% trading wallet. Why is it not moving? Like, what's going on? I did this over and over and over until I was like, you know what? Let me just do this one more time, but let me put like 0.0, like 0.10. Let me just put 0.10 in there and then see what happens. I did it. And so when I did it, the same thing kind of occurred, but the only thing is after like maybe 2-3 hours, next thing I knew it, all these wallets start coming in. And I realized right then and there that motherfucker was looking at me the whole entire time. And he was looking at it and saying, I'd rather not do the thing where people jump in the contract because they're racing to it. I'd rather be on my time. It's my casino. Fuck all y'all. I'm coming in when I want to come in, and I'm going to look and see who's going to be in my contract. Because if there's one person that has 3, 5, or 6%, I'm just simply not going to come in, or I'm going to cancel out, you know? So when I did the 0.10s, they knew that my 0.10 was about to turn into like a 0.75, but they were comfortable with me exiting out with that, and instead of like a person that already has so much supply. You see what I'm saying?
Ah, right. So if you were sitting there with one soul, they'd be like, fuck that, I'm not going in. But because you were there with just 0.1, they were like, all right, bet we can still run this.
Bam. Period. That's it. And the great thing about this is this: we can't, as human beings, no matter how much tools and bots we have with Solana, the one thing that they do that makes it reason why it makes it even more millions is because they fucked with time now. Because now you got a project that you purposely set out there for time on time and time, and so by the time it gets to King of the Hill or deployment, it's showing all this other extra time when in reality you were just planning this from the get.
Okay. So then what would make, I guess it's using, I guess people, and to be fair, I've seen it firsthand. People just follow volume because I've seen it myself. So I follow like some whale wallets and stuff like, I do wallet tracking. And I'll see like a whale wallet go in with like 10 soul or something. And
Yeah.
then you look at the chart and you're like, wait, what the fuck? This contract's been there for like 3-4 weeks and it's been dead, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden like this god candle just goes up, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna fuck with that, but I wonder
Yeah.
why he is. And now
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Absolutely.
Now it makes sense. Now it makes
100%.
sense.
It's kind of
But
like when
you
you
still
see the
get people
charts of like
following that.
a person that buys at very, very, very beginning, and then they just do nothing but sporadic sales throughout the whole entire chart. Just like sell, 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 and then you say to themselves, "Oh, I want to get to the beat where this guy is. Like, how do I?" And you
Exactly.
look at this person like, "Wait, do you realize that these two are the same motherfuckers?" You
Yeah,
knew that,
yeah, 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 yeah.
he would not have done completely sell, sell, sell. He does not know every single all time high unless he knows the other hand. It's simple as that. You know?
Yeah, facts. No, I figured, when I see this stuff, I'm like, okay, cool. Because
Yeah.
then you track loads like profitable and whale wallets. You're like, oh wait, but you're here at the same. You've gone in and you've gone in, so you both, like, obviously there's no way you both knew to go. Like there's information somewhere, right? In
Yeah.
these projects, like there's insider groups. So that makes
Absolutely.
sense now. Okay, so I'm
Absolutely.
starting a project, experimental. Sorry, this is how my brain works. I have to
No
like
worries. Do
put
your
stuff
thing. I
in.
love
So
it.
I'm starting the project. I do my experimental. I'm going to do my dev buy, dev sell. You shake out whoever you shake out. Um, the wallets I'm using to bundle, I have actually generated from Bullex or Nova or wherever. Because I've generated it from there, from Bullex, because I've
Uh-huh.
generated it from there, and I've set up on that one account, I've set up that I'm trading with all wallets. I've got auto sell for all wallets. When I go in, I start my volume buys. It has the auto sell in place already, which is great.
Right.
Now I'm painting the chart. It's going up. Ideally, there's all the other stuff you mentioned, and I almost talking to you now. I almost don't want to go into that stuff because I want to make sure I get the first part right. But for now, my chart's going, and I've planned for a 40-minute run between where I am to say a 20 soul buy eventually or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Across the 20 wallets, whatever. Um, when do I start things like the comments and bump it and I
So for the
forget the other
bump
tool,
it
but there's a tool
specifically,
for like meme generator.
yeah. So the bump it specifically, I always recommend don't even do bunny type of bump it until you have your main supply in there. Like once your volume's all done, because it's like you're sending off whales information like hey I'm in the water, come eat me, and so if you don't have the supply controlled enough, or you have more left to go, then it's kind of like asking a sniper to come in on purpose and grab your supply. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
right. So you just want to, and that's why I always tell people, if you don't got the money to get the RPC that's going to have the fastest to grab your supply and then continue growing that volume, then you just simply need to do it like everyone else, and basically kind of like in your water, right? When you're in water, when you flap your feet, the freaking waves go off. But if you start floating, you're simply gonna have they're not gonna really notice you in a sense. So what you're doing is slowly just floating and putting your wallets in there and buying the floor slowly, because you're not gonna essentially stop so much freaking traffic. You got so much volume that happens. People are gonna know. It's just gonna send radars throughout all the systems across the world. It is what it is.
right. So that and that goes. So then this comes to like, what is the, I'm in the situation like you've just described. I don't have the money, or I'm not willing to put the capital forward to just go straight to King of the Hill. So I need to do this slow and steady. So actually, I should be looking to do what? Maybe bundle by between, say, 0.15 and point 0.4, maybe? Or should I be
Well,
doing higher?
so when you say quote unquote bundle, you're referring to specifically coming in maybe with the wallets at the very either you're not talking about mass sniping though, because there's two differences. Mass sniping is coming in the back end like a on demand, and then the bundle is those are coming in like right off the bat trying to grab the supply. Which one
On
are you
demand. I'm
referring
talking
to?
about the on demand. The on demand bit. So on demand is mass sniping?
Yeah, exactly. On demand is a
Yeah.
mass sniper.
Yeah, yeah. So on demand as a with the mass sniper. So yeah. So again, dev sold. Now I'm coming on demand. So I now want to just gradually build this thing slowly and try and get the FOMO in.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I would
again,
say if I was you, my go to would be essentially to start off like, for example, start off 10 with the dev, but immediately leave the contract. And it's the purpose of two
yeah,
reasons. One, you're going to create 10 volume, get closer to that 100 volume that you want anyways.
yeah,
And then two, anybody that's front running, if you're quick enough anyways, you're going to even just close them off because they basically just drop 10 on them. So, you have a potential to bring in like, one sole profit just off the jump of just ripping that 10, redistribute that
yeah,
10 immediately into your funders, so that way they go into these now allocated Bullock, Trojan, Nova ecosystems, and they start eating the floor up from a human buy perspective. Now it looks like other universes are coming into your CAA contract address. Now, this obviously, depending on how fast you move, will depend on. That's kind of like I was telling you the method of people flapping their legs in the water. The slower
yeah,
you do it, the less waves start to wave out. Now the problem of it is the people that are doing fast patterns in the water, like the waves are moving faster, faster. They're having to kind of compete with people that are coming in with higher liquidity with nodes that are running on like multiple wallets. So all of a sudden, when your
Yeah.
contract is starting to get eat up and you're happy, like, oh, green, 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 that green to you almost to me, I'm gonna be honest with you from a mental standpoint, and it comes to the point where you have to become like this to become profitable. But these reds to me kind of feel better to me than these greens, because these greens can be just as deadly as these reds, because people essentially are also, of course, PvPing you. So you're thinking, oh damn, this getting lit. There's like 5 walls came in, like, oh my god, like not even realizing you have no limit set up and nothing happening, because the next thing they're gonna do it, they're gonna grab the supply and then just gonna dump it. It's on your own project.
Yeah, yeah,
And the next thing you know it,
yeah.
you're sitting there like on Radium, and Radium is like, okay, now you got to pay for no more liquidity. That's them deck screener, and then dex ads, and then it's like, okay, do I still continue this thing, or is it people my chart's looking wrecked right now, and they thinking you did it. In reality, you have nothing to do with it at all.
Yeah, okay, okay. And then once your chart starts looking wrecked, psychologically, you'll finish because people are not just going to start selling off positions, right? And then it's just
You're
going to
done.